Welcome to the channel, friends. So today's video is going to be 5 quick tips of mine for easy plow setup on your ATV. Now these are your basic things you want to adjust and look at once you start plowing with your machine. Do this every year and pretty much it assures good operation and comfortable operation of the plow. Now I'm going to start with tire pressure. I'm going to run 10 psi front and rear on my machine. These are Blackwater Evos 28-inch, and 10 psi seems like it's a great psi for traction and to keep good height and for the machine not to squash too much because of the weight of the plow. Now, if you don't know already, this is a 66-inch Glacier Pro plow system from Polaris. It has the power angle unit. I got a ton of videos on this setup, everything you see here. So check out my playlist if you're interested in that. But number one is tire pressure. Adjust your tire pressure accordingly. Every tire is slightly different depending on what ply rating it is. There's so many variables, but find a tire pressure that works. Next would be to adjust your suspension. Very important. I usually stiffen up the front of the machine. That way it has more kind of positive traction and bite on the plow. So you want to stiffen it up. The rear I usually can keep the same just to keep the ride consistent and nice and smooth. I'm about normally in the halfway setting, so semi-stiff, semi-firm, whatever you want to call it. But there's 5 adjustments on this machine here. I'm right in the middle right now. But when it comes time to plow, I will stiffen up the front all the way. It helps with that droop and that sag of the weight of the plow on the front of the machine. It keeps it stanced, and I think it works better from my experience. So number 2 was take care of your suspension settings, stiffen them up in the front. Then next would be to take a look at your skid shoes. Now these right here, as you can see, these are aftermarket. These are actually thicker than stock. The stock Polaris ones, as I'll show you on this side. So this is a stock Polaris one. It's very thin. So you'll want to keep an eye on these because these OEM Polaris ones will break off, and then you will be grinding into the frame of your plow if you get past your scraper bar. So that's one thing I noticed. You have to keep an eye on those Polaris OEM skids because they are not thick at all and they will wear out quickly, especially if you have asphalt driveway or concrete. So I have to take care of that. I'm going to pick up some aftermarket ones and then adjust the height accordingly. On my plow, I want to keep it riding on the skids. Okay, I just find that works better for me. Some people prefer to be riding on the scraper bar or the edge. Now, I think the skids are cheaper, so I prefer to wear out the skids versus the scraper bar and the edge. This has a poly edge on it, so it's very expensive. Sorry, I'm kind of sick right now. But anyways, take a look at your skids and adjust them accordingly. But there's a big debate of whether you should be sitting on the skids or sitting on your scraper bar on your edge. So that's up to you how you want to set up your plow. I run it so it touches the skids first, and that way there's not a lot of wear on the edge. So next will be number 4, which is take a look at your cutting edge or your scraper bar. Now I'm going to flip this so I can have even wear year to year. I don't want to wear out one side too much. I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. That way I will wear both sides evenly and I'll get the most out of my material here. So that's something you want to always consider. You will wear that out and you want to rotate it accordingly. So that's number 4. Take a look at your scraper bar and flip it. Most of them are made to be reversible and allowed to be flipped. Just for that reason, so you can use both sides and not have to buy a new one. All right, so the very last one, number 5. Number 5 has to be this right here, this dolly. Now, this is what I use when I'm done plowing. I will lift my plow up, and then I will install this underneath the frame and underneath the front edge of the plow. That way, I can unhook my plow and let it rest on the dolly. And then that way allows me to move it around my garage in an easy fashion without hurting my back or straining myself with the heavy plow. It's not that heavy, but having a dolly to let it rest on and move it around when it's up off the ground is just a great peace of mind and just easy to use, and allows you to move around the plow in your garage and get it out of the way just in case you have to move other stuff in and out. It just helps out. So that's my 5th tip, is use a moving dolly underneath your plow to help you out moving it around the garage and freeing up space. One last tip I will go over. So number 6, I guess you could say it's a bonus one, is take a look at the condition of your synthetic rope. Now, you want to be using synthetic rope with the plow. You do not want to be using the steel cable version or variant, because it will fray and break eventually. It's very brittle. It doesn't work really well when it comes to plowing. But plowing is actually very harsh on even the synthetic ropes. So always take a look at your synthetic rope. I have found that it wears out the synthetic rope within the first 18 inches of the rope length from here. So between the abrasion of having mud and stuff on it, using the winch all year long, and then coming plow season, and then going in and out a bunch of times, like hundreds of times, it does damage on the synthetic rope. This one here is an upgraded size. I believe I put a 1/4 inch versus 3/16, which is stock for the 2500 winches. So I went up a size, and it still has room on the spool. So this one here is an Amazon special, nothing special. But if this breaks, I'm gonna have to go ahead and buy the worn synthetic rope, because I'm sick of breaking synthetic winch ropes. I broke at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 over the past 3 years, because either from plowing and it wears out. It always breaks in the first 18 inches, and I think plowing has something to do with it. So I did think about switching out and having 2 different synthetic ropes, one for plowing and one for normal ATVing and winching, and having the more expensive worn winch synthetic rope for that, because this just beats up the synthetic rope. So there's really no way around it. It is what it is. Some people put straps, but then you can't use your ATV to winch anything. It's going to be a short strap. So I kind of just go with it and see what happens. If this one breaks, I'm going to go ahead and buy a secondary just for the off season, for the normal season, I guess you could say. That way it doesn't wear out. All right, guys, so that there is 6 tips for setting up your machine and getting it ready for plow season. These tips have worked great for me, and it offers a great plowing experience once you set your machine up properly. So that's going to be it for the video. I have other videos coming, like setting up plow wiring for the 850, so I can use this plow on both machines and swap back and forth and then have fun with that. And then also I have other videos planned for the season, so stay tuned for more plowing videos with both machines, and who knows what I'll come up with next. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or comments, please place them right down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please go ahead and do so. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.